It was just a regular Tuesday night in the quiet town of Millersville. The kind of town where people left their doors unlocked and neighbors still borrowed sugar. But by sunrise, the tranquility was shattered. A brutal murder had occurred, and the only clue left behind was a phone charger plugged into the wall, one that didn't belong to the victim. At first glance, it seemed like a simple oversight, a misplaced item. But what if that tiny object turned out to be the key to solving a cold-blooded murder? This is the case of a killer caught not by fingerprints, not by DNA, not even by an eyewitness, but by a forgotten phone charger. Welcome to True Crime Hub, where justice lies in the details. On October 12, 2019, 34-year-old Amanda Reese was found dead in her apartment. She was a beloved nurse at Millersville Community Hospital, known for her kindness, generosity, and radiant smile. Her neighbors reported hearing a loud thud around 11:30 p.m., but assumed it was nothing. When Amanda didn't show up for her shift the next day, her best friend and co-worker, Lydia Bell, drove to her apartment. What she found was a nightmare. Amanda was lying in a pool of blood in her living room. The apartment showed signs of a struggle: broken lamps, an overturned table, and shattered glass. The killer had taken her phone, her purse, and her laptop. At first, investigators believed it was a robbery gone wrong. But something was off. Among the chaos, detectives noticed a white iPhone charger plugged into the wall near Amanda's bed. Her phone was missing, so why was the charger left behind? The charger was coiled neatly, not tangled or tossed aside like the other signs of the struggle. That one detail bothered Detective Raymond Cruz. It didn't make sense. In a room filled with chaos, this small, seemingly insignificant item was in perfect order. Was it a coincidence? Or was it a mistake? Detectives carefully collected the charger and bagged it for analysis. They knew this was no ordinary scene. Something about it felt personal. Amanda Reese had lived in Millersville her entire life. She was the kind of person who brought coffee for coworkers, helped patients beyond the call of duty, and remembered birthdays. Her death wasn't just tragic, it was confusing. She had no known enemies, no debts, no dark secrets. She worked long shifts at the hospital, volunteered at the local animal shelter, and loved cooking on weekends. But she had one vulnerability: a history of troubled relationships. Her most recent relationship was with Greg Harmon, a 36-year-old IT consultant she met on a dating app. At first, Greg seemed sweet. Quiet, smart, charming. But friends noticed red flags quickly. Greg was possessive, constantly texting Amanda, questioning her whereabouts, and showing up unannounced. Amanda ended the relationship after 4 months, citing emotional manipulation and controlling behavior. Greg didn't take it well. He sent dozens of messages pleading for another chance, some of which bordered on threatening. Amanda blocked him on social media and changed her phone number. But the messages continued, from unknown numbers, cryptic emails, and even anonymous notes left on her windshield. She filed a report with the police, but without direct threats, nothing was done. It was frustrating, and in hindsight, terrifying. Back at the lab, technicians examined the white charger. It was a standard lightning cable, the kind used by millions of iPhone users. But it wasn't Amanda's. Her roommate confirmed she used a rose gold-colored one, and always kept it in her purse. Investigators checked the serial number on the charger. Surprisingly, it was traceable. Apple maintained records of products sold through their online store. This particular charger had been purchased 3 weeks earlier, and the buyer was Greg Harmon. Detectives brought Greg in for questioning. He looked nervous, sweating profusely, and avoided eye contact. When asked about Amanda, he spoke fondly of her, denied any recent contact, and claimed he hadn't been to her apartment in months. When shown the charger, Greg fumbled. "That could be mine. Maybe I left it there a long time ago." Detective Cruz didn't buy it. "But this model didn't exist back when you two were dating," Cruz replied, placing the receipt from Apple in front of him. Greg went silent. A fingerprint analysis of the charger revealed a partial print on the USB end. It matched Greg's right thumb. Digging deeper, detectives subpoenaed data from Greg's email accounts and cell phone provider. What they found was alarming. Greg had purchased a prepaid burner phone 3 days before Amanda's death. Cell tower records placed that phone near Amanda's apartment the night of the murder. A security camera across the street showed a figure in a dark hoodie entering the building around 11:20 p.m. Amanda's neighbors remembered hearing a scream shortly after. The burner phone had been used only once, to call Amanda. That call lasted just 18 seconds. Even more damning, Digital forensics experts recovered deleted messages from Greg's cloud backup, disturbing entries about Amanda, fantasies of making her listen, and rage-filled journal entries. But it wasn't enough. They needed a direct connection. Detectives gained access to Amanda's iCloud account. Miraculously, her iPhone had backed up data moments before it was destroyed. Among the files was a short video Amanda recorded days earlier. In the dim glow of her bedroom, Amanda speaks into the camera. "If anything happens to me, tell the police to look at Gred. He's been following me. I'm scared." Her voice trembled. Her eyes darted off camera as if she'd heard something. It was just 12 seconds long, but it changed everything. Greg was brought in again. This time, he refused to speak. His lawyer advised him to remain silent. But the evidence was piling up. In addition to the charger, the fingerprint, and the surveillance footage, detectives found Greg's DNA under Amanda's fingernails, a sign of a struggle. Forensic experts matched the bruising on Amanda's arms to a physical altercation. She had fought hard. And in doing so, she had left behind traces of her killer. Still, Greg never confessed. He sat in silence during trial, refusing to take the stand. His defense team argued circumstantial evidence, insisted the fingerprint could be old, and that Amanda's video was emotionally charged, not proof. But the jury didn't buy it. The trial lasted 3 weeks. The prosecution presented a clear timeline: Greg's obsession, the burner phone, the surveillance video, Amanda's chilling message, and the final digital backup. Lydia Bell, Amanda's best friend, broke down on the stand describing Amanda's fear in the weeks leading up to her death. She had begged her to leave town, but Amanda wanted to fight back. "I won't let him scare me," she had said. "I've already lost enough." The jury deliberated for 5 hours. Greg Harmon was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Amanda Reese's story isn't just about tragedy. It's about how one overlooked detail, a phone charger, became the key to unlocking justice. It's a reminder of how tech leaves a trail, and how victims sometimes speak even after death. Today, Amanda's family advocates for better stalking laws. Her case has inspired legislation for tech-based forensic tracking, and her name lives on through the Amanda Reese Foundation, which supports survivors of domestic violence. What would you have done in Amanda's shoes? Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, and no one believed you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe justice lies in the details, subscribe to True Crime Hub. Hit that like button, share Amanda's story, and help us bring attention to the truths hiding in plain sight. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never ignore the little things, because sometimes they solve everything.